Good morning, friends. On today's episode of Outdoors with Aaron, we're going to hit the Orange Trail at Ridley Creek State Park here in Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful day. It's in the low to mid 50s. It's drizzly, but I have enough rain gear that I can handle that. And there's absolutely nobody on the trail. So why don't you join me today on this beautiful trail, the Orange Trail here at Ridley Creek State Park. Because it's really a loop. You follow this up around, it goes next to the stream, up over top of the mountain, and we head back to the same parking lot. So it should be a pretty easy hike. Another really great reason I like coming up here, especially this trail if you can get here early, it's super quiet, and what you're hearing around me, the surrounding noise, is the stream, but it's also just the wind that's going through these bare branches up here. The leaf litter on this is actually damp, so now I can walk through the leaf litter and there's still no noise traffic. Not off my feet, just nothing, not brushing up against any vegetation. It's super quiet and very peaceful. Let's keep moving. We did come into this intersection to the right. It's a less traveled trail down to the stream. We're gonna go on the trail here to the left. It's a little bit more managed and go up over top of the hill. Really liking this hike so far. There's really been just one individual with his dog here, leashed up. Really nice, seemed like a pleasant guy, walking his dog. So we're going next to this trail going toward the top of the hill, and then we're gonna wrap around next to the stream. Again, it's just beautiful here. There's hardly anybody around. There's no traffic from the roads. There's no traffic from the skies. And we're kind of socked in, so that helps insulate the sound as well. You can hear the crows out there and some other smaller birds, but outside of that I haven't seen any kind of animals or activity. Let's keep moving along on this really beautiful Saturday. All right, we finally made it to the point at which this goes into a loop. We can go to the right, which heads a little bit closer to the stream, or we could go to the left, which heads up and over top of the hill. I think we're gonna choose that route. Let's head up and over the hill. Hopefully you guys are getting a chance to get outdoors today. No matter where you are, skating, hiking, fishing, whatever your deal is, get out and do it today. All right, enough of that preaching. It's time to get back onto the cardio part of this trip of the Orange Trail here at Ridley Creek State Park. All right, before I lose my oomph, let's get going. This time it's not the rocks that are the issue, it's the wet leaves and then the exposed roots. Especially these trails that are highly trafficked, the roots themselves get really smooth just from people walking over them over the years. And put some rain on top of that or mud, man, it gets really slick. So I'm glad I have relatively hands-free going up this hill. Let's keep moving, keep that heart rate going. So even without vegetation on the trees, I have no idea what direction I'm going in until I try to refer back to my map. Once I get reoriented, we'll start back again. It's very confusing up here because when you get to the top of this hill where it's supposed to start going across the hill and then loop back down to the stream, as far as you can see, even with binoculars, I saw no trail marker as soon as you get to the top of the hill, which on the map appears to be where you need to be in order to make the loop. So after taking one offshoot for 5 minutes, regrouping and still seeing no trail markers, I'm going to do another technique. Instead of getting lost, I'm going to double back to the point that I know a landmark and then go along the stream, and I'm going to try to wrap around the other direction and find out exactly where this trail comes out on top of this hill. And instead of getting lost, let's go on this hike. We went up that trail. There wasn't really any kind of marking at all, though it looked heavily traveled. Come over to this side of the trail, still is heavily traveled, but there's definitely trail markers. So, like I said at the top of the hill, instead of getting lost, I'm going to go on this managed trail, the one that has the most markings, and we'll see where it comes out on the other side. This, I believe, based on the signage, is the true split. So if we go to the right, there's plenty of trail marks there that go along the river. And then up here, there's plenty of trail marks that go up and over top of the hill. We're gonna go over the hill on this one. Let's keep moving. Well, I guess a lesson to be learned from that little confusion back there on a trail. This is just a basic loop. I mean, it shouldn't have been brain surgery, but because the vegetation is off and people are kind of creating more traffic on these side trails, it was a little bit confusing. Because in the topography, I was still going uphill, so it made sense to me. It wasn't until I went further down that I realized I'd mistaken a trail that's not part of this system as one that is. So, rule number one, I guess if you're confused, you gotta go back to the last landmark that you are absolutely confident about, and then regroup, think about it, and then just make a decision. But at no point in time, whether it's on a half an hour hike or a day hike or a weekend hike, do not ever just guess and move forward. You know what? You can scout out the trail 5 minutes ahead, but you need to turn around and come right back. If you don't see that signage and it's a heavily used trail, you are not on the proper trail. All right, let's get moving, because I know this trail is good. As you can see, there's a change in the trail here. If you go to the left, there is no really great signage. We're gonna go to the right, a little further down the trail. Even from this point, I can see some orange markings on the trees. Let's go this way. That offshoot that I just talked about, that would have been the loop that was unmarked but really heavily traveled that we started on, mistaking it for the trail loop that we're on right now. So let's keep moving. We've been soaked for the last couple days in this week, so my guess is when the temperatures drop back down and stay that way, we're gonna have a little tiny flurry of some fruiting bodies that come up in the leaf litter. But besides that, everything is gonna be probably shelf fungi and stuff like that, witch's butter, all these types of gelatinous types of fungi. You know what, we're gonna get what we can get for this season, but anyways, let's continue on this beautiful day. We had that change in elevation to get to the top of this hill. Now we're on the back side of the loop and we're going to be heading down to the creek. So we're on the decline. All right, let's keep going down this hill. We're on the back side of the loop. Now we're heading over to the stream, as you can see in here. Man, it's beautiful out again. Very little visitors today. Super quiet. Although the trail actually goes forward and wraps around, I mean, how could I, not stop here? This is absolutely beautiful behind me. The adjacent side of the creek has the paved trail that goes the whole way around Ridley Creek State Park. And still very empty. A lot of people not out today. It's kind of confusing for me why people wouldn't enjoy the day, but maybe they're doing some other incredible stuff. Let's keep moving on this trail. Well, for all that stuck around today while I was on this hike, thank you so much. I'm getting closer and closer to the stream. Really, really beautiful, super slick down here because it's just rocks and mud and slippery leaves, so I gotta be very careful, but the view is unbelievable. It's very, very quiet except for the stream, the wind, and an occasional airplane, but no vehicles over here. So outside of those few things, it is just nature, all the sounds, the birds, the water, the reasons we come out here. All right, I'm gonna take this in for a few minutes and then we're gonna head back to the car. It was a pleasure having you guys come along with me today. I hope you get a chance to get outdoors today. If you do, and even if you don't, just know you can always come back here and get outdoors with Aaron. Until next time, guys.